Okay, so welcome back to Just the Facts, y'all. My name is Jimmy, and today, as y'all can tell, we're doing the Texas versus Baylor preview video. Yeah, it's been a while since I made a video, but we're here back now, talking about Texas again. And let me just say this, man. Making this, doing research for this game, I have no faith in this team. I'm not gonna lie. I lost faith in this team. It sucks, but this is Texas, man, and another year of disappointment, another year of pain, another year of not reaching our goals where we want to be, and our goal is not to win the championship every single year. We're not there yet. That's Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State's goal every year is to win a national championship. Texas's goal every year, as of right now, I mean, the standards hasn't changed. Is to compete for Big 12 championships, man. Winning 9-10 games a year and competing for Big 12 championships with maybe a shot at the playoffs. Maybe an outside shot at the playoffs, right? But we're not even close to there yet. We had one season like that, 2018. One season in the past decade that was even remotely close to what our expectation here is at Texas. But just to get that out the way, man. But yeah, let's just get into this Texas versus Baylor preview. So they had 3 games postponed this season already, so that's a big thing to look for. A total of like 28 people ended up catching the virus, including like 19 players or so that was pretty significant. But that begs the question, man, did Baylor have enough practices? I'm not sure about their practice schedules or how many times they've practiced in the past like 2-3 weeks or so. Probably hasn't been much, but you'd assume that if they haven't been practicing like that, then they might come out the game really, really rusty. And I don't know about their practice situation, like I said, so that's the thing to look out for there. But quick recap of last year versus Baylor, it was bad. It was basically 24-3. We made it 24-10 by scoring in the last second of the game, but it was 24-3. We couldn't score. We only scored a field goal at the end of the first half after a long Keontae Ingram run. So they very possibly could have shut us out last year. They completely dominated both lines of scrimmages. They completely dominated defensively. The time of possession was about even, but I mean, it seemed like Baylor had the ball for a lot longer than we had. We couldn't finish drives. Sam was ineffective once again. And Baylor's in that tier with TCU now, to the point where they're pretty much the only 2 teams, them and maybe Kansas State on occasion, maybe Iowa State on occasion, of teams that play defense consistently in the Big 12. Baylor and TCU, those are the top 2 for sure over the past couple years. Baylor made Sam so ineffective last year. Matt Rule is gone now, so you got Dave Aranda there, defensive-minded coach, obviously defensive coordinator at LSU and Wisconsin. Pretty good defenses at those schools while he was there. So Baylor, they're already a really good defense. Now they bring in another defensive-minded coach and Dave Aranda, and this might be a recipe for disaster for Texas. I will say that for sure. Will Texas be able to move down the field effectively, score efficiently, and score frequently? It's not looking too good. Don't let the last couple games surprise you versus Oklahoma and TCU. Yeah, you look at the final score. We ended up scoring 45 against OU, right? We scored 17 up into the last 3-4 minutes of that game, of the regulation of the OU game. We scored 17 points, and we couldn't move the ball at all in the second half, if y'all remember. So that was really bad. And in versus TCU, we scored, 29 points in that game? Well, 31, whatever. And we looked ineffective in a lot of portions of that game as well. It's like when we score, it's like when Texas scores, it seems so hard fought. It doesn't seem easy. It doesn't seem like a well-oiled machine. It just seems like we had to work so hard. We had to scratch and claw our way just for a touchdown. Hopefully Sam's been better. This past 2 games, he's been very, very inefficient, ineffective. On the ground, he's been great. It's Sam Ehlinger, come on now. But passing the ball last 2 games, under 60% in both games. So I'm going to say this again. Texas is going to need to run the ball to have a chance in this ball game. And I expect Bijan Robinson to start this week. Obviously, Keontae Ingram has been really, really struggling. All of our running backs have been struggling, but Keontae with the fumbles, it just seems like his confidence is gone. It just seems like we're giving up on him. He only had five 4 other carries in that game versus OU. I just want Keontae to be great, man. He has so much potential, but it just looks like he's not going to live up to it, unfortunately. But hopefully Bijan can live up to the hype. 5-star. He didn't do too great in the Oklahoma game, but he'll just be another guy, a change of pace type of back. He's more of a shifty, speedy guy. Keontae, I don't want to say he's a bruiser, but he's not as shifty or speedy as Bijan is. And Baylor's a great run defense. They're only giving up 3.7 yards per carry. Terrell Bernard is elite. That's their linebacker, their star player. 21 tackles on the season, 2.5 sacks, leads the team in both of those statistical categories. So we have our hands full of Baylor, man. I expect this to be another frustrating game, honestly. As far as the receivers are concerned, Jordan Whittington's out once again with a hip flexor. This guy can't catch a break, man, and I feel bad for him at this point. Our guys just need to create separation, man. Especially when the pass rush is coming towards Sam, and Sam needs to get the ball out quickly, or Sam is scrambling for extra yardage. Guys need to know when the route is cut off to keep on running, or to run towards your quarterback, or run towards the sideline, or run up the field, so you can give Sam like an open crease to throw the ball, man. Whenever that first read is taken away, whenever that first route is taken away, for these receivers, they're just standing there, and Sam's trying to scramble and do some other stuff, and guys are not getting open. It's just so frustrating to see. I expect Baylor to be really disciplined, but on the offensive end, they do kind of struggle passing the ball. Hell, and running the ball for that matter. They barely average over 100 yards per game, 3 yards per carry. I know they played 2 games, but they can't run the ball. They have 3 experienced running backs: Lovett, Ebner, and Bohannon, I believe. They're all experienced, but they're just not running the ball. But I do expect them to play better since they are experienced running backs. They've been in this Baylor system before, and they just know what to do. They just haven't really done it yet. Don't let this fool you. I expect Baylor's running backs to come out and have a better season, better than what the first 2 games suggest for them. Our run defense is pretty poor. I thought it'd be one of our stronger suits heading into the season, but I guess not. So hopefully we can be able to stop the run, because I believe they'll get the run game going. To me, Charlie Brewer he's a really experienced quarterback. He's probably, him and Sam Ehlinger are 2 of the most experienced guys in the Big 12, along Brock Purdy, whatever. But he just doesn't scare me too much. And I say that, and Charlie Brewer ran for over 100 yards against us on the ground last year. A lot of it was on 3rd down, if I remember correctly. So we just struggle with guys that we don't think are running quarterbacks, but are able to beat us with the run. I think Joe Burrow beat us a couple of times too, but that's besides the point. We need to be able to stop the run game altogether. Charlie Brewer, we have to force him into passing the ball 30 times a game. Can we do that? I think that's a win. If we can force Charlie Brewer to throw it 30 plus times a game, he's going to commit some turnovers, I believe. He's not that great to me, but he is very experienced. He knows what he's doing for the most part. It's just a lack of talent for him. He wanted to come to Texas, but I mean, we didn't offer him because he's not as talented as other guys, but he is a very experienced guy. Now, our only bright spot really on defense, I want to say it's Joseph Osai, but it's pretty much our D-line in general. We haven't got as many sacks to reflect that we have been doing a good job, but Joseph Osai has been great. He's by far the leader in tackles. He's by far been the most disruptive and consistent player defensively for Texas. I want to see guys like Overshown. I want to see guys like Juwan Mitchell step up and have some big games for us. BJ Foster and Caden Stearns are pretty inconsistent, especially BJ. He did have a really good game versus OU. Caden Stearns will be back. He was out versus OU. But he is back now. My thing with Caden Stearns is the injuries for the most part, but if he's on the field healthy, I expect him to be pretty damn good. The thing about Baylor is they don't have any crazy wide receivers. They don't have any crazy playmakers on the outside that can just absolutely demoralize us. Denzel Mims was that guy last year, and he's gone. They've had guys in the past, like Katie Cannon, Terrence Williams, all those guys at Baylor, Corey Coleman. But they don't seem to have that guy this year. In fact, they don't even have one guy over 100 yards receiving for those 2 games combined yet. They have 6 wide receivers with 33 or more yards, but they don't have a guy with over 100 yet, which does not look too good at all. They don't have that playmaker for some reason. And also, I just want to mention that West Virginia's defense is absolutely elite this year. So this might be an anomaly that Baylor's offense not looking good at all. They look like pretty much the worst offense in the Big 12 besides Kansas. But I do expect them to play better because they're playing the worst defense in Texas. We're going to make them look better. They're going to get some, with all that time off, hopefully we're able to practice, and I mean, hopefully for them, they're able to practice, and they might come out and you know, find some consistency, find some continuity, find some stuff that works out for them offensively. Unfortunately, our defense will make their offense look better than what it has been. That's just what it is. We've done that to every offense that hasn't even looked so good. We did it to TCU. TCU's offense got shut down by Kansas State the following week. What happened the week before? They scored 33 points on us. It's so frustrating, but the keys to the game are the turnover battle. We need to take care of the football just for the simple fact that, like I said, Baylor is very, very opportunistic on their opportunities. Their offense is not too great, but you give their offense life by giving them the ball, and then their offense can get rolling from there. Their defense is really elite, so I'm assuming they'll create some turnovers against us. Time of possession and who can run the football is actually key, because these are two of the worst rushing teams in the Big 12 offensively. Whichever team can find something on the ground game, some consistently on the ground game, along with that time of possession, because I do think this will be not a lower scoring game, but I think this will be a slower paced type of game than you would normally see in the Big 12. So I think time of possession is really, really key in this game. And with that being said, researching this, I said that Texas would win, just for the simple fact that Baylor's offense isn't good. But I realized that we're going to make their offense look pretty good, like we did with TCU. So I think this game versus Baylor is gonna go similar to the game against TCU, and I have Baylor winning by a score of 31-27. Baylor was a 11 win team last year, made it to the Big 12 championship game. Their defense is still good. They still got their quarterback, who's gonna come back maybe even better this season. Who knows? But I just can't see. I just can't pick Texas, man. I just can't. I'll pick Texas once they actually start winning. I won't pick them again next week versus Oklahoma State, just to let y'all know. But that's going to wrap up this preview prediction video. Let me know who wins and what the score would look like, and what are the keys to the game. And with that being said, man, this is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm signing out. Peace.